Hi, I'm Kesenya and welcome to this week's astrological weather report. I've got some fabulous Christmas goodies coming up for you in this week's astrological sky, so I'm so glad you could join me. I have been away for 2 weeks thanks to Mercury retrograde, which killed my computer and left me without any type of video equipment for making my weekly astrology reports. So I've been missing for about 2 weeks, but it's so good to be back and after my enforced holiday and with a brand new computer with a lot of software and technology that I'm still trying to get my head around. So forgive me if this is like a bit big, the frame, like, you know, way out there. You can see my whole living room and foyer here, but I'll figure it out soon enough. But thanks for joining me. Before we begin, I just want to encourage everybody to stick with, if you're interested in learning astrology, stick with the whole report actually, because there's some really fascinating bits of information that you can gather and apply to your life. And I cover in each of my videos usually 3, sometimes more, like this week's going to be more because there's so much going on, 3 or more different energies that will be affecting you. And so if you just jump straight to your particular sign, you're going to miss out on all the other things that are affecting you. 2 weeks ago when I did my last report, I did a whole section on how Capricorn and Aquarius rising and Leo and Cancer rising people would be affected by fate or free will. And if you were one of those people and you skipped straight to your sign report, then you will have missed out on that information entirely. So it's really worthwhile to stick with it. And it doesn't mean that you've got to, you know, stop what you're doing for the day and sit down and spend a whole hour watching me. You might actually be able to, like, plug in your earphones and go to the gym and just listen while you're at the gym or out walking or driving to work in the car, those sorts of places. It's not essential that you sit and watch. So, you know, you can really embrace the whole gamut of the video and get something out of it. I also, while I'm talking about this, like promoting what we do here on Astrolada, I want to talk about Lada's Astro Retreat coming up in Solstice in, I hope I'm saying that right actually, in Bulgaria in June 2019. I'm actually hoping to get there myself. It's one of my ambitions to go to that part of the world, and when I heard that Lada would be doing her Astro Retreat there, I thought, well, when is there a better time to go then and explore the Black Sea area and, you know, maybe get down to the Mediterranean and do those beautiful parts of the world. So you may see me there if I can pull it together, and I'd love to join you for Lada's Astro Retreat. Check out her website actually. I'll try and remember to pop a link in the description to this video for the details. It's going to be great fun. And I just want to also promote my Astrology of Many Marriages webinar. So excuse me being a bit putting on my marketing hat here, but the Astrology of Many Marriages webinar was a great event that we had back in November when Venus turned direct. And it's available for purchase now on Lada's website. So you can, you know, you didn't have to be present to learn the valuable information that's there in that webinar. You can purchase it now at full price. I think from memory it's $39.95 or thereabouts. So it's great value for money. You get 3 hours of information about how to see multiple marriages in the chart, in your chart as well. I teach you how to, you know, look for things in your chart and to understand your chart in terms of the multiple marriages theme. So that's available if you're interested. Also, I've had a lot of people ask me about my astrology wheel, and I'm very proud of my little wheel here, handmade, but I have arranged for it to be available for sale. It probably will come on the market in early January if I can get my act together. So if you are interested in purchasing one, or at least finding out you know, what the cost might be and so on, then email me through Lada's website and let me know, and I'll add you to the list and when I get it all up and running, then I will send you out some information about how to purchase that and where to purchase that. There will be a physical wheel like this one that'll be available for purchase, and e-versions as well, and hopefully a high-end version too. So if you are interested in knowing more, send me an email. I'll add your email to the list, and once it's all up and running in January, I'll let you know. So let's talk about the sky now. Well, I am really happy actually, because in the week just gone, we have had Venus leave her shadow period, and I just wanted to speak about that before I get into what's coming up in the week. I wanted to talk about Venus leaving her shadow period. For those of you who are new to astrology and don't know, Venus has been retrograding through Scorpio and Libra, which retrograding means to us on Earth, it appears that she is going backwards in the sky, and then she stops. She stopped about here. This is Venus here. She stopped about here and started to go forwards again. Now, she was at roughly 10 degrees when she started going backwards. She went back to about, I think it was from memory, 25 degrees of Libra, and then turned forwards again and went back over that portion of the sky that she had been going backwards on. And this is called her shadow period, from 25 degrees Libra up to 10 degrees Scorpio. This is the shadow range. And so finally, last week, she left 10 degrees Scorpio and moved into fresh territory. And I found this so exhilarating, so exciting just to know that this had happened. Because what this means is it's going to be another 8 years before Venus retrogrades in that same spot again. She retrogrades roughly every, give or take, but roughly 18 months, and in a different part of the horoscope each time, and it will be 8 years before she is back and does that again there. So that 8-year cycle of Venus is very, very important. I want you to think back to where were you 8 years ago when she was last retrograding through this portion of the sky. What was going on for you? I'll tell you what was going on for me. I was getting divorced. I was becoming a single mother. I moved out on my own with my 3 children. Like, it's been a tough 8-year cycle since Venus was here, but it's come to an end. So review your life, you know, in the light of Venus leaving Scorpio retrograde shadow period. What have you been dealing with for the last 8 years that has now come to an end, that is now concluded and finalized for you? Look back and see, what have you been dealing with? What's been a big theme for you for the last 8 years? Well, that's over and done with now. And usually it'll have something to do with relationships, money, and self-worth, the 3 things in general that Venus governs. So maybe you were like me and got divorced 8 years ago, and that has sent you on a trajectory that you never expected in life. Well, a lot of that is wrapping up now, culminating, finishing up, and that period of your life is now over and done with, and you are about to embark, like me, on a whole new beginning, on a whole new 8-year cycle of Venus. Venus will transit this spot at least usually once a year, and so we've got 8 years of her going across this spot, but it'll be 8 years before she retrogrades again, and so we have this 8-year cycle, and we're beginning a whole new era with Venus for us all. And so this is exciting. We can start something fresh. I mean, I love fresh new beginnings. It's like having a new sheet of paper just waiting to be written on, or do a beautiful drawing on, or do some new creation on. We get to start things anew. So let's go into this wonderful new fresh 8-year period with Venus with excitement and joy, like I'm feeling right now, feeling very happy about it. So I'm thankful that I've come through the last 8 years, and I'm looking forward to up-leveling and going into deeper, greater, more wonderful things with the next 8 years that's to come. So our first energy is unfolding for us now on the 19th of December. Now this is going to be quite an exciting day because the Sun up here in Sagittarius is going to be conjuncting at the same degree, that means, that's what the word conjunct means, at the same degree as the galactic center. Now, the galactic center of our galaxy, naturally, it's a galactic center, it's a symbol of being drawn into something that is larger than life, and usually to do with whatever the sun relates to in your chart. And when I get to the end of this preamble, I'll go through all the signs talking about what the sun connects with in your chart, and therefore what you will be being drawn into that is larger than life for you on this day, the December the 19th. It's going to be a big day because it's going to precede the following 3 days afterwards that are very pivotal in our week. And this energy is going to be the initiator of the energies that are to come. Basically, they're all going to combine because they're all happening very close to one another, and influencing one another. So they're going to be within orb. I'll talk more about that as I go along rather than confuse you, but this is the big one for December the 19th. The sun conjuncting the galactic center. Now, the galactic center, the center of our galaxy, was discovered in 1974. And when it was discovered, the north node of the moon was at 27 degrees Sagittarius, which is where it actually is. So the sun on the 19th will be at 27 degrees Sagittarius, and this is the placement of the galactic center, and it was where the north node was on the day that the galactic center was discovered in 1974, the year I was born. Maybe I shouldn't say that. But this is really powerful. The north node represents our destiny, and usually as above, so below. And on the day of discovery of the galactic center, the north node was there. And what does the north node represent? It represents our destiny, what we are heading towards in life, where we are going, and what we are becoming, what we are up leveling into, what energies we are mastering personally for us in this lifetime. The north node in our natal chart represents all those things. And so this destiny point, pertinent to each of us as individuals and to us all as a collective as well, was conjunct with the galactic center. So it's very symbolic that the galactic center is representative of where we're headed, the energy of something new, something invigorating, something exciting, where we're destined towards. So with the sun lining up there, it's very, very important because the sun is such a pivotal planet in our personal charts. Now, the galactic center is actually a massive black hole. It's symbolic of the inescapability of what we are being pulled towards, what we are being drawn towards. We can't fight it, you know. It's very, very fitting that the north node was there, because the north node is similar. It is energy that is pulling us to our destiny, oftentimes unbeknownst to us, and sometimes, you know, very, very strongly and inescapably. I often in my readings liken the north node to a child learning to walk. We are just, as babies or toddlers, we are insatiable about learning to walk. Everybody learns to walk because we have this desire to achieve that skill in our life. And so it's the same with the north node. It has this inescapable pull towards our destiny, just like a black hole has this inescapable pull. You can't run away from a black hole. And so with the sun here annually, it happens every year. The sun hits on 27 degrees Sagittarius every year. But what it indicates is that our solar system is lining up with the center of our galaxy. It's very, very powerful. Our star that we all circle around, all the planets circle around, is lining up smack bang on with the center of the galaxy on this day. So very, very powerful. And the center of our galaxy is often referred to as the cosmic womb. It gets that name because it's like the source of change, the source of creation, the source of rebirth. Black holes have this pull of, you know, dragging everything into them, but equally they are also the place from which universes and galaxies are born. So it's very, very influential this day. What you choose to do on this day, how the energy that you put around your life on December the 19th will be very important in the year that we are about to embark upon. And of course, this is occurring 2 days from the summer solstice in Australia and winter solstice in the Northern Hemisphere. So it's just remarkable how these energies kind of all line up. So what energy you put around you on December the 19th, if you can make your world more joyful, more colorful, more giving, more generous, more beautiful, more fun, more pleasurable, you will embrace those energies for the year to come, because it's what you'll be being drawn into, what you'll be being, captivated by even, and mesmerized by. So set that up for yourself. Make December the 19th a special day. And then we've got the summer solstice, winter solstice, depending where you are, occurring on the 21st of December. That's going to tie in with these energies as well. The sun will only be 2 degrees from this point on the 21st, the solstice. And I'll talk a little bit more about the solstice in just a minute. But it's just a magnificent time for setting intentions for the coming year. And like I said, I'll talk more about that when I get to talking about the solstice. But with the sun here, it represents how we shine in the world, where we receive our self-confidence from, where we can glow. So stick with me through this preamble, because I'm going to come back to this and look at where our self-confidence is, where we can glow, where we can shine for each sign. That's what we're going to be looking at today. But we're going to just go through a couple of the other energies that are playing out before we get to the breakdown of each sign. So on December the 21st, we're going to have the solstice, as I said. But we've also got Venus trining Neptune. So here is Venus in Scorpio, and over here in Pisces is Neptune. And of course, these are both in water signs. Pisces is a water sign, Scorpio is a water sign, and they are making this beautiful trine. Now, trine energy, for those who don't know, is an energy of ease, of flow, of things just coming to you naturally without effort, without having to really try. So it's very, very powerful for manifesting on this day with the solstice. Now, Venus trine Neptune is a wonderful energy for romance, for creativity of all kinds, for music, especially singing. If you like to sing, it's a good day. Get out with the choir, go sing some Christmas carols, or record a YouTube video of you rocking it up, or whatever you want to do. But singing is great, because singing is connected to both Venus and Neptune. You're going to actually feel more tender, more compassionate at this time, which is wonderful for Christmas, actually. When we see people in need around us and at this time who are estranged from their families or lonely, we can be more compassionate. We can invite them to come join us for Christmas dinner. We can be more tender, more compassionate, more inviting at this time, because our emotions are going to naturally be geared that way with this trine from Neptune to Venus. And you're going to feel very cuddly and affectionate too. So we all love a bit of that around Christmas time, or any time at all. And this beautiful energy also feeds into the overall energy of the year ahead, like I said, because it's only 2 days after the sun's conjunction with the Galactic Center. And solstice happens on this day as well. So this is the moment when the Earth's tilt away from the sun is at its maximum, and from now on in the Northern Hemisphere, days are going to grow longer. So you've reached the shortest day of the year if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. And similarly, in the Southern Hemisphere, our days are going to start to get shorter. Damn it. And we're going to start heading back towards the cooler months, and it feels like we've only just got to summer. I mean, let me clarify that. It's not going to get any cooler. In fact, I've noticed quite the opposite. From the summer solstice in Australia, my observation is that from now on, our Aussie summer really ramps up, really kicks in. And we go from having sort of average temperatures in the early 20 degrees Celsius, you know, like around 24, 25 degrees Celsius where I live in Australia. That's what it's like for most of December, the first 3 weeks of December. And then you hit the solstice, and bang, we start going into Aussie summer. And, you know, we've got temperatures ranging usually from 31, or where I live, up to 45 degrees Celsius. It can get stinking hot for the next 2 months. And really, it only ramps up quite consistently that way after the solstice. I don't know about the northern hemisphere. I'd love to get some feedback on what occurs there, but I'm assuming it might be similar. Winter really kicks in, but the days lengths are going to, you know, change from now on. We've reached the maximum, you know, longest days down in the southern hemisphere, shortest days in the northern hemisphere. So this is when the change now occurs and we start heading back. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought for a moment there. So this is big energy. On this day of the solstice, December the 21st, we've got this loving trine happening. We've had the sun conjunct the Galactic Center. It is a beautiful energy for initiating this new year, if you like, of moving back. Now, when I say moving back, obviously the tilt of the earth is going to start to change again. So we've reached the maximum and we're heading back, and it'll be another year before we're back in this spot. So a couple of yearly cycles are unfolding together. We won't be back at this solstice period for another year. The sun won't be back at the Galactic Center for a whole other year. So this is a really good time to, as I said, initiate some intentions for the coming year ahead. And the final energy well, it's not really the final energy actually, there's a couple more, but the one I'm going to talk expansively about is the December 22nd full moon at 0 degrees of Cancer. Now, of course, when I'll just move my little fellow here, down to Cancer, 0 degrees, opposite the sun. So when we have a full moon at 0 degrees, 0 degrees is the energy of beginnings, of new starts, of fresh blank pages. So we've got a lot of fresh beginnings unfolding for us at the moment. And of course our moon here, sorry, I've just gone and made that a bit odd there. Our moon is sextiling with Uranus. So this gives the whole full moon energy, the feel of excitement, of positive change, of lovely surprises because of this kindly aspect from Uranus, the planet of change, the planet of being authentic and truthful and liberation and freedom, connecting with our emotional planet, the moon. So this is going to be a full moon of excitement, positive change, lovely surprises. It's going to be so good. And of course, it's following 3 days after the sun at the Galactic Center, the winter summer solstice, and this beautiful trine energy from Uranus and Neptune. Fantastic period of 3 days that we're embarking on. Not only that, but this moon is conjuncting with 2 mammoth fixed stars. The first star is Betelgeuse. You know the film? But Betelgeuse, it's a monstrous star. It's absolutely phenomenally big. It makes our sun look like a pipsqueak by comparison. Betelgeuse is a massive star, and it is a star of power and honor and wealth. And also, almost at the same point actually, they're about 1 degree apart from our perspective on Earth, Menkaliman, a star which has the nature of Jupiter and Mars. This is a leadership star, a star of power and independence. And of course, the full moon is occurring on these tremendous stars that are full of great blessing. If you're born with an angle or a moon, or the moon or the sun on these stars, whew, you are very blessed. And so to have this full moon occurring on these stars, again, the blessing is magnified and energized. So you're going to see this full moon instigates a lot of great things in your life when it's you know, combining with the fixed stars, combining with the Galactic Center, you know, it's just a powerful, powerful time of the year. Great for seeding intentions. In fact, you're going to see the fulfillment of the intentions that you set from 2 weeks ago when we had a new moon occurring in Sagittarius. And so you might find that there's some things that have come to fruition and to fulfillment that you sort of were talking about or thinking about or feeling about 2 weeks ago. But even more important with this full moon is actually the energy of initiating, like, because of all these other energies that are unfolding at the same time. So it's a brilliant time to, as I said, to set intentions for the year ahead as part of the solstice. I keep repeating myself, Mercury conjunct with Saturn, I can't help it. Sun conjunct the Galactic Center, and of course this gloriously powerful full moon. So we can actually make 2019 a powerful and beautiful year by initiating positive energy over these 3 days. If we start this, what I see as a new yearly beginning, with this positive energy, if you know, play happy music, keep yourself in a great state of mind, connect in a compassionate, loving way, Venus trine Neptune, with your friends, you are going to establish an energy, an aura of energy that will last with you throughout the coming year. Now, before I get to what's playing out for each sign, there's a couple of other energies occurring as well. So the first one is that the sun, on the 23rd of December, the sun will be entering into Capricorn. So this is going to, I'm not going to talk extensively about this. There's no need, there's no need. If you're a Capricorn strong person, you know all about Capricorn. But the sun's moving in there is going to be 30 days in the sign of Capricorn. The moon also at this time on the 25th, on Christmas Day, I'm just checking my notes, the moon is going to be conjunct with the North Node on Christmas Day down here. And it's going to trine Mars in Pisces, ba-boom, up here. So this is and this is the moon. I'll just move her. There she is, conjunct with the North Node. And she's trining Mars, passion, energy, enthusiasm, invigoration, you know, ideas. And this is actually the moon's beginning of a 2-week journey into the solar eclipse that's going to be occurring in early January. So in 2 weeks' time from the Christmas Day, she's going to be up here, sorry about my sound effects, up here and creating the first of the eclipses for 2019. So she's getting ready, set, go. So again, more of a, you know, more influence of initiation, seeding intentions, making wishes, wishing upon a star, lovely old songs that sing about wishing on stars. But it's actually really quite true. You know, this is a great time for making wishes, for, you know, setting goals for the year to come. So I think this is going to be a really powerful and exciting week. So I will be speaking to you again on Boxing Day with the energies of the week after this. So this is the exciting week that we've got to come. But now I'm going to actually go through each of the signs with relation to the sun at the Galactic Center. So here we are with Aries rising. Now I probably need to start this portion of the video just by explaining that I use rising signs because I feel they are far more accurate than the sun and the moon. That is my belief. You might be part of a school of astrology that thinks differently, and that's fine. Jump to your moon sign, jump to your sun sign if you prefer, because you know you'll still get the same information. It will still be pertinent to you. But the rising sign, and this is Astrology 101, the rising sign is the most individual point in anyone's chart. It's the most influential point and the most powerful point in anybody's chart, actually. The sun is in a sign for 30 days at a time. So it's very general to anyone, say, born with the sun in Gemini. It's going to be very general. You know, there'll be a big group of people born with the sun in Gemini on the year that you were born. What gets a little bit more unique is the moon's placement. If you were born with, say, the moon in Cancer, there was a 2.5 day window in the month you were born when you could have been born with the moon in Cancer. So therefore, the group of people born with the moon in Cancer, well, just say you had the sun in Gemini, you would have had a 2.5 day window for you where you could have been born with the moon in Cancer. And this makes you a little bit more distinctive because that's a smaller window of opportunity. And there's less people born in that 2.5 day window than there is with 30 days. Now, what is really unique is the rising sign. And that's unique because it changes every 2 hours on the day you were born. So there was a 2-hour window that you could have been born, let's say, with the rising sign in Aries. A 2-hour window, meaning that only a very few handful of people were born on that day in that 2-hour window. It is very distinctive and very unique, and it is what sets up the house system in whole sign astrology that's pertinent to you. So this is why I use the rising sign rather than the sun sign, rather than the moon sign. And I know I get a lot of comments every week in the comments section, and there'll be heaps this week because people will jump straight to their sign and not listen to this bit. But it is actually the most important part of anyone's chart. Equally, if you want to really get into it, the rising degree changes every 5 minutes. So it's even more accurate, but that's usually for a particular, like for a reading. If I was to do for someone, I would talk about that. But if you want to look at your sun sign, if you want to look at your moon sign, go right ahead. The energies will be similar to what I'm talking about, but the rising sign will be the most powerful. Okay, now that I've done Astrology 101, let's take a look at the sun at the degree of the Galactic Center for Aries rising people. Now, as I said, this is a symbol, the Galactic Center, of being drawn into something larger than life. And what does that represent for us with the sun when we have Aries rising? Well, it represents the 9th house. So you are being drawn into, like this day, you might be very inspired to connect with gurus, inspired to connect with inspirational people, to jump on YouTube, to look up, I don't know, Lada's latest video and be inspired by what she's got to teach and share. It's people who know more than you are seen by the 9th house. It's also other forms of higher learning. Anything to do with expansion, anything to do with experiencing other cultures even. So you might be really keen on this day to go and have an exotic dinner at an Ethiopian restaurant in town, or somewhere that's very culturally different to you. You might be, make plans to attend Chinese New Year celebrations in China. And, you're going to get a lot of energy for Aries rising people on this day to connect with other cultures, to look into higher learning, and to follow up with inspirational figures. Now, in some schools of astrology, this house is also related to the father and father figures. So you might actually find a connection with some sort of father figure or your own father on this day. You might be very drawn into, have this inescapable energy of connecting with your own father or with fatherhood in some way. Maybe if you're a single mum like me, you kind of have to, might on this day, if I was Aries rising, exert some sort of fatherly influence with my children instead of the motherly kind of influence. But if you're in a parenting situation, the fatherly influence on this day might be very, very important for you if you are Aries rising. So the next sign is the delightful Taurus, and don't we all love Taurus? 2 of my kids are strong Taurus. They're just gorgeous. Taurus rising people puts the Galactic Center and the Sun conjunct the Galactic Center over here in the 8th house. So you are going to be drawn into, inescapably, feel the pull towards things that are a bit hidden and mysterious. You might decide, oh, you know what, I think I might watch an Agatha Christie film, or Alfred Hitchcock, or something that's a bit, you know, about the underworld, about the mysterious, about crime. You might like to read a crime novel or watch NCIS or one of those shows. With the sun here, you might be drawn into some kind of opportunity to work with other people's money as well, you know. And it's also, the 8th house represents community property. So it could simply be that, you know what, you decide to go for a swim at the local community pool because the weather's really hot or something. But there's gonna be an inescapable pull towards something that is hidden, mysterious, otherworldly even, you know. You might develop an interest in ancient alien theory and watch a few documentaries about that sort of thing. Or community property and other people's money. So you might actually get an opportunity to, you know, receive some sort of inheritance, or you might get pulled into some kind of a legal arrangement for, you know, in the future when grandma passes away, well, I'm going to get her car, and you know, you're pulled in, you're given this opportunity with other people's possessions or inheritances and that sort of thing, where they kind of happen not through your own exertion, but sort of through it just manifesting for you, this inescapable energy. So inheritances, community property, anything to do with hidden things. You might also feel a very strong pull to go out and look at the stars and the sky and start studying astrology in earnest. You might get the drive, the impetus to start doing that really genuinely and full on, because astrology is very connected to the 8th house. So this could happen for you. Also, an interest in what we would sometimes term as wizardry or shamanic practices, or doing some sort of creative ancient ceremonies, connecting with herbs or energy systems, or you know, utilizing what's the word for it, metaphysics, that sort of thing, and exploring those realms. You might be really pulled into, drawn into exploring those things on this particular day. Also anything to do with psychology on this day. And it could just be simply that you happen to go into a bookshop and there's a book, a psychology book, and you're like, oh, really quite drawn by that. I think, or it jumps out at you on the shelf, and you're like, I think I'll buy that book. So it could be as simple as that, you know. Or somebody hands you a flyer down the street, come to this esoteric, you know, lecture, and you're like, oh, I think I might go. So it'll be something that happens for you that draws you into 8th house realms. It's not going to be sort of big blinking lights, hey, you've just won Tats Lotto, or you get the big phone call, oh, your long lost uncle's left you $50 million. It's nothing, unlikely to be that sort of thing. But it will be, you know, the more simple, more predictable, more inescapable type energies that just fall in your lap. So moving right along. Gemini people, gorgeous, funny Gemini. Honestly, Geminis are so funny. Or Mercury ruled people are really funny. Again, one of my children. He's got us all in stitches most of the time. He's a very strong Gemini. Anyhow, for Gemini people, this is falling in your 7th house. So you've got this being drawn into something that's amazing, that's powerful, that's inescapable, occurring regarding other people. So it can be a committed partnership. That's what we see through the 7th house. But it can also be, you might be drawn into some sort of business partnership. An opportunity might come up for you. Someone might come up to you and say on this day, December the 19th, hey, I want you to collaborate with me next year. I know we're nearly at Christmas and it's the end of the year, but next year I want to collaborate with you and start producing, you know, this advertising material, or I want to start, you know, doing this, running this tourism campaign, or start taking tours to, you know, XYZ country or whatever, and you get really charged up about collaboration with someone on some sort of a project. So this can definitely manifest for you on this day, December the 19th. Also, we're talking marriage partnerships as well. So any kind of, get my words out, contractual arrangement where you're, you know, business partnering with somebody, or you might be drawn into signing an agreement with a lover that then becomes a committed life partnership. Because when we connect with someone through written agreements, and they're our lover, that becomes a committed life partnership. And it doesn't mean you have to get married. You can open a bank account together, and that's a committed life partnership because you're both signing an agreement or a contract with the person who is your lover. That's a 7th house relationship. So on December the 19th, you might have the opportunity to do that, to actually transform a relationship from a love affair into a committed life partnership. You might buy a car together, you might buy a house together, you might co-sign on a lease, you might start a bank account together. Any type of contractual arrangement with your lover might manifest and turn it into a committed life partnership for you. Similarly, you also may experience sophisticated culture on this day, because the 7th house is actually connected to sophisticated cultures. We're not talking down at the local, you know, music festival with a beer in your hand that's in the main street and everyone's like, yeah, and having a great time, which is so fun. But it's not that kind of cultural event. It's going to the theatre, or it's going to an art gallery. It's anything sophisticated, refined and cultural, maybe a fashion exhibition somewhere. So you might have the opportunity to do that. Again, you could be walking down the street, someone hands you a flyer to the latest, you know, museum exhibition of Tutankhamun's tomb or whatever it was, and you're like, I think I might go to that. So you get an opportunity that it's almost inescapable, that's come to you from out of nowhere, that you're like drawn into. Oh yeah, I'm going to do that. And it can happen in any type of cultural, sophisticated, refined realm. Equally, you might be walking down Collins Street, Melbourne, one of the most sophisticated shopping streets in Melbourne, and spot something that you've always wanted, and you lash out on some fine, sophisticated Tiffany bit of whatever, jewelry or something, and you have a lash out on something a bit cultural and a bit sophisticated, or, well, not so much cultural, but sophisticated and refined and high-end kind of stuff. So that's Gemini rising. Just watch your wallets if that's the case. Alrighty, we've got the lovely Cancerians coming up next. Get that sitting right. Cancer, lovely Cancer sees this Galactic Center fall in their 5th house. No, their 6th house, my apologies. So this is falling in the 6th house. So there's going to be an inescapable draw, an inescapable pull, because of the Galactic Center connecting with the Sun to something to do with 6th house things. So 6th house things are, well, many things are seen from the 6th house, but the major themes are service. In ancient times, the 6th house was seen as a place where you were lower than, less than, the underdog kind of thing. And it was connected with people who were servants, who were serfs, who were doing sort of menial labor. These days, it's connected to employees, students, people who are not the lower rungs of society, because we've all been employees at one stage or another in our lives, but people who have somebody above them in hierarchy. So, if you're a student, well, you've got your professor that's above you, or your tutor. If you're an employee, well, your manager's above you, or your boss is above them, and so on and so on. So it's when you've got people who are above you. So 6th houses rules employees these days. That's what we see, rather than servants as slaves. We don't live in ancient times where that was the case. So you will have some sort of draw towards connecting with either your employees or as an employee. So it might just simply be that you have your yearly Christmas party, your staff Christmas party falls on this day, and so you are an employee and you are drawn to go and attend the Christmas party. Now, the other things we can see from the 6th house are things like our daily routines. So you might be drawn on this day to re-establish a new routine, to create a new routine, to invigorate your current routine in some way. You know, change your diet, or start walking in the evenings, or going for a swim in the morning, or something like that. You'll reinvigorate your routine, and it often will be connected to your own well-being as well, because well-being is connected to the 6th house. Again, in ancient times, it was a house that was all about disease and diseases. But these days, we're not so focused on diseases in Western countries. I mean, we are, like, we think about disease and we want to take care of our health, but we haven't got polio happening anymore, and we don't have, you know, all those diseases that we've sort of moved on from, thank God and touch wood. But it's now much more connected to our well-being and our general health, we see from the 6th house in our modern Western society, which has left behind slavery, which has left behind a lot of diseases that were prominent 2,000 years ago when the zodiac systems were being sort of unraveled. So this is, you're going to be, you know, drawn into something new, drawn into creating something or reinvigorating something, almost inescapably, with your health, with your well-being, with your daily routines, with being some sort of employee or dealing with employees. Also, it is the house of service. The archetype for the 6th house, and it's connected to Virgo, is actually the priest or the priestess. And we won't comment too much about those roles in modern society, but the idea behind those roles is that it is about serving humanity, serving people, being there for people and helping people. I'm sorry, I keep looking up. I'm not sure with my new software where to look, which camera to look at. Anyhow, so sorry if I've been looking in odd spots. But serving other people is one of the big focuses for the Cancer rising people. So you might be drawn into some sort of service on the 19th that you can't escape. So it might be, you know, you go to hand out Christmas hams to the poor, or you are working in a soup kitchen for homeless people, giving them an early Christmas dinner on the 19th. There's going to be a bazillion different ways you can offer service to people on this day. And look, that can take many, many shapes and forms. It doesn't have to be connected necessarily to people who are struggling lower down in the rung than you are. It can also be connected to offering service regarding health and well-being, like we've said, or regarding general routines. Helping people structure their routines might be a really good bit of service you can offer. Helping, maybe running some sort of free yoga class on this day might be a way you can offer some service. But you're going to be drawn into doing so in some way, shape or form on the 19th when the Sun conjuncts the Galactic Center. Okie dokie, the lovely lions, Leos. This is the 5th house. So the Galactic Center is in your 5th house, Leo people, and this puts the Sun conjunct your Galactic Center on the 19th. And this is going to draw you into something that's almost inescapable, concerned with 5th house things. Might be children. Children are seen from the 5th house. So you might have the opportunity to work with children or do something kind for children, be generous with children on this day. And of course around Christmas, this is almost unavoidable. You might get the chance to be Santa at something and dress up and take care of the kids or whatever. You might also have the chance to or be drawn into something that's almost inescapable for you concerning romance. This is going to be a super romantic day, not least of which because Neptune and Venus will be very close to trining one another on this day, but because it's in the 5th house of love and romance for you. So you might be drawn into some kind of lovely romantic situation. Now, it doesn't mean that it's going to start a new love affair for you or anything like that, but you know, you might be walking in the park and you know, you've got a bunch of books and Christmas ham under the other, you know, arm and a bunch of flowers, and then it starts raining and you've got your umbrella and everything just falls, and then there's this handsome stranger that comes and helps you with your things, and nothing might transpire from that, but just might be one of those movie-like romantic situations that just appears out of nowhere for you on the 19th. So you might be just drawn into this sort of a situation with the sun conjuncting with the Galactic Center in the 5th house. Like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean that you will develop a romantic relationship, but you could, you know, if the rest of the stars in your natal chart align, it may just bring you a romance. So fingers crossed if you're looking for one that's the case. The other things that the 5th house represents is creativity. Now, 5th house is creativity, creativity, creativity. Being romantic, creating a candlelit dinner for your lover, that's being creative. Thinking up some kind of a date for, you know, the person you love, that's being creative. Anything creative is seen from the 5th house. Making children, hello, that's creative. So it's the house of supreme creativity, the 5th house. So, you know, you can be creative with your lover. You can be creative with your husband or wife or partner. You can be creative with your children. And you can be creative with you yourself personally, because remember, the 5th house trines the 1st house, which is you. So there is this beautiful, easy, flowing, natural connection to creativity as seen from our 5th house. So with the Galactic Center here, you're going to feel drawn into being creative in an almost unavoidable way. You know, maybe you'll get a story inspiration for your next book. Maybe you'll see some photograph that inspires you to redecorate your home. Maybe you will get some sort of a psychic download for a new painting that's going to leave Van Gogh for dead. You know, like you will be inspired, you will receive some sort of creative energy on this day towards, you know, all of these things, being romantic, being playful with children, being, you know, I've listed them all. It's going to be a day of great creativity. Now, the final thing that we see with the 5th house is pleasure, fun, and joy. So on this day, you will have the opportunity to experience some sort of pleasure, fun, or joy. You'll be drawn into it. It will be inescapable for you, unless you're very strong-willed and determined to be an old sourpuss and a Scrooge at Christmas time. So this is actually going to be a great day for being creative with pleasure, with fun, you know, office Christmas parties maybe, or, you know, attending some kind of great Christmas dinner with the family early, or anything that's fun, pleasurable, enjoyable, lots of food, lots of laughter, lots of music, having good times, lots to look forward to that you'll be drawn into if you are a Leo rising person. Okay, the Galactic Center for very special Virgos is going to fall in the 4th house. So you're going to be drawn into, in this inescapable, probably quite larger than life way, into 4th house things. Now, at this time of year, we always connect with our heritage, our family, our roots, our lineage. That's just the nature of the Christmas season. So for Virgo people, it's going to be a given. But this can actually be this energy playing out for you, the Galactic Center conjunct Sun, playing out for you, where you are just drawn inescapably into connecting with your family, connecting with your mother is seen by the 4th house, connecting with you know, your ancestors even. It's actually quite a karmic house, the 4th house. Usually 12th house is past life stuff, but the 4th house is still karmic as well. And so you might be inspired to connect with, you know, ancestors in, like, you might fall asleep and have a dream that's quite karmic with this placement at night time. And or you might have the desire to, you know, my family comes from Ireland and we moved out to Australia when, you know, 5 generations ago as farmers or whatever, when the potato famine was on, and you know what, I'm going to go back to Ireland. And you don't do it straight away maybe, but you go online and book the tickets and you make the plans and you get that passport organized. You start putting things in place to go back and connect with your ancestors. 4th house. It's going to be something you're drawn into almost inescapably. I must go back and connect with my ancestors. So anything to do with family, your immediate current family, your children that you have can also be seen from here. Your parents and brothers and sisters, you know, general family, and your heritage, your roots, your lineage. Also community. If you grew up in a, you know, particularly cultural type of community, like maybe you were part of a suburb in, say, Melbourne that was very Italian, and you're surrounded by Italian families, and that was the cultural community that you grew up in, well, you might be drawn to reconnect with that on this day. Maybe you grew up like me in a small town of about 4,000 people, and you know, you go back for Christmas to celebrate. You know, you're drawn back to your heritage, your roots, your lineage, whatever that looks like for you on this day. So lots of connecting for Virgo people with family, with their roots, with their past, with their heritage. Righto, Librans. I love Librans, I really do. I overshare all the time because I have a Libran moon. So people who know me well know that that's just the way I am. Libra people, you have this falling in your 3rd house. So the Galactic Center is in your 3rd house, and the Sun will be conjuncting the Galactic Center in your 3rd house on the 19th of December. So what does this mean? It means that you're going to be drawn into, in a larger than life way, in a big way, an inescapable way, into 3rd house things. You might get a light bulb moment around establishing a new business, or have a new business idea for your current, you know, small business is seen by the 3rd house. So for you guys, for Libra people, getting ideas about business, getting some new marketing ideas might suddenly come to you, you know, on this day. You might find that you're drawn into, you know, you're drawn to some sort of great advertiser on this day. You know, somebody contacts you online and says, hey, I love what you do. Can I collaborate with you to promote your business? Anything to do with marketing, advertising, social media, that sort of thing. So on the 19th of December, you might get an opportunity to promote what you do, to market what you do, to communicate it with a wider audience. Hello, I'm a Libra moon. I'm putting this video up on the 19th of December. So hopefully for me, that means connecting with a lovely audience such as yourself. So this is the kind of thing that will unfold for Libra strong people, Libra rising, Libra moon, Libra sun. You will have more opportunity and be just drawn into naturally communicating, maybe learning something new, maybe get the opportunity even arise in your life to teach something and to share some knowledge with people in some way, just as I'm doing right now. You might get the opportunity to just socially connect and be where the action is. You know, maybe you get the chance to go and be, I don't know, downtown New York on this day, if you happen to live in that part of the world. You know, just be down where all the action's taking place, downtown New York or central London or something like that. You know, Melbourne, if you're in Australia. Just being where everything's going down, where everything's happening, and being part of all the action might unfold for you on this day in a really beautiful way that's almost unavoidable, you know, and exciting and invigorating for you. So that's something to look forward to as well. So that's what's happening for Libra strong people, you know, anything to do with communications, teaching, marketing, advertising, small business, you're going to be pulled into, and it's going to cause some manifestation and something exciting to happen for you in those fields. Moving along, just to speed it up a little so we don't run out of time, we've got Scorpio rising people, which puts, sorry, this is moving, the energy of the Galactic Center in the 2nd house. Hello, Scorpio. Powerful. You are going to be, sorry, it tends to like to have a mind of its own sometimes. You're going to be drawn into, almost inescapably, unavoidably, with great, you know, larger than life kind of energy around possessions, money, self-worth. These are the 3 themes of the 2nd house. And of course, the second house supports the first house. If you look at it here, it sits underneath the first house. There's the first house and it sits underneath it. So it is supporting. The first house is your body and your body's journey through life, and it's sitting underneath it. It's supporting it. It's holding it. So anything that supports your body's journey through life, you're going to be pulled into in a big way on the 19th. You might get a raise. You might get a Christmas bonus. You might get some sort of gift out of the blue that's actually really beneficial and adds to, say, a collection that you've got already, or you might get a chance to increase your possessions a great deal in some way, shape or form. Somebody might leave you, say, a whole record collection that you've always aspired to have, you know, all the cool old music or whatever. You might suddenly get somebody leaves a car for you, you know, and it's some, I don't know, an old Pontiac or something really, really fabulous. Something can come to you in a big way on this day that's almost inescapable. And it mightn't mean that you actually necessarily own something, but you might get the chance to utilize an old Pontiac. Just say you're going to Christmas dinner at your girlfriend, you know, new girlfriend's house, and somebody says, hey, take my car, and it's some classic, gorgeous looking, fabulous thing, and you get to use that on that day. And you just feel like a king, you know, you're in this special car. Maybe it's an old Cadillac or something, showing my old rockabilly roots here, but something, some kind of possession, some kind of material goods that you can utilize to invigorate your life, that comes to you without even sort of striving for it, that you're just drawn into in a larger than life, powerful kind of way. So it can be anything. It can be cars, it can be clothes, it can be food, it can be houses, it can be anything pleasurable as well, such as, you know, fine restaurants, you know, anything that you can touch, taste, see, hear or smell is seen from the second house, the five senses. So anything sensory as well, you know, fine velvets or you know, good food at a fine restaurant and beautiful jewelry, all those sorts of things you might get the opportunity to indulge in, to experience, to enjoy on the 19th. It's a little bit similar for Scorpio rising people to Aries, which has sorry, not Aries. Who had it in the 7th house? Gemini. Yeah, sorry, just went blank there. It's a little bit similar to the energy that Gemini will be experiencing. Gemini will have this energy, and it's in the 7th house, which is about cultural refinement, sophistication, and the same house, the 7th house is ruled by Venus, and the 2nd house is ruled, generally speaking, by Venus. So they've got similar themes, and the 2nd house can be, again, the things that you know, nice things, you know, that Tiffany's brooch or whatever. You know, you get the opportunity to utilize some sort of material goods, receive some sort of money, some sort of income that just comes to you, that manifests for you. Also, if it doesn't happen in one of those physical, tangible ways, it may happen on a soul level, connected with your self-worth, because self-worth is seen from the 2nd house, how you value yourself. So you might get some sort of up-leveling in how you value yourself on this day. You might decide, you know what, I have put up with this crap wage all year, not taking it anymore. From now on, I am going to ask for what I'm worth, and I'm going into the boss. I'm going to say, next year, I need to be paid X amount of dollars per hour because I'm worth it. So it's about doing something on this day that you just can't avoid, you know, that makes you value yourself, honor yourself, give yourself what your dues, what you are worth. And so, you know, you might be drawn to be courageous around there. The sun is connected with our self-confidence. You might be very confident and be able to draw on some confidence to go in and do that sort of thing with your boss, or to approach your partner and say, look, you need to honor me more because I'm not feeling that the respect, you know. That's just one example. Like, there's so many ways that you can not assert yourself so much, but seek self-validation, self-worth. And this is seen for you guys, Scorpio rising, on the 19th of December with the sun, the planet of confidence, the planet of ego, conjuncting with the galactic center, that black hole that's inescapable energy, that's pulling in some energy for you. Very much like the North Node, as I said in the beginning, where the North Node is this insatiable kind of energy. And it's going to be like that for you. You're going to be almost insatiable about asserting your own value, sense of value, how you see yourself, how you value yourself will be very, very important on this day. Okay, moving on. We've got Sag rising people puts the galactic center in the first house. So you are going to have it's going to be very powerful for Sag people on this day. I mean, they've naturally got the galactic center in their first house all the time anyway, but with the sun conjunct this position, it just says your self-worth, your self-confidence, who you are, how you show up in the world, how you shine, how you glow is going to be enhanced. There's going to be themes around your life on this day that are insatiable. You are going to desire to glow, desire to shine, desire to be seen in some way on this day. That's how the world is going to see you. If you meet someone new on this day with this happening in your chart, they're going to be sort of magnetically drawn to you. They're going to want to know you more. They're going to be intrigued by you because this is a mesmerizing, inescapable black hole type energy, this galactic center. So you oh gosh, sorry, you could really receive some sort of personal accolades and invites to great parties because people just are mesmerized and drawn to you and want to be with you on this day. Somebody might, you might meet somebody at work and they're like, dude, come to my Christmas party tonight. I want you there. And you're like, okay. So opportunities may arise because people are just drawn naturally and mesmerized naturally by your energy on this day. So keep your eyes out for great opportunities. Also, on this day, the 19th of December, it can be connected to survival. Survival and staying alive is seen by the first house. In ancient times, this was particularly pertinent because we struggled to survive in ancient times. We didn't live till the ripe old ages that we live these days, and staying alive was pretty important. These days, we don't tend to so much die delivering children, or babies generally tend to live until their adulthood and everything, which is different to years in the past. But that is why in ancient times survival was seen by the first house, staying alive was seen by the first house. So with the galactic center here and the sun conjunct the galactic center, your ability to survive is going to be enhanced, shall we say. So if something is threatening you, like, I'm not saying you're going to die or anything, but if you're feeling like you're threatened, or you're really down, or you're really low and you're struggling, something will come into your life that's going to enhance your ability to want to keep going, to want to stay alive, to stay upbeat, to keep at life and working towards something, or living. You might get a reminder of somebody that you really care about, somebody that you really love, that gives you the energy to keep on going, keep on surviving, keep on fighting. So it's definitely, it's also connected, the first house, to the warrior energy, the fighter energy. So you might, you'll get invigorated with the desire to keep fighting, keep going, keep on, keep trying, not give up. That's going to really manifest for you on this day, which is great, because we all have these times when we're low and we're down, and our instinct to survive is like, oh, just wish it was all over sometimes. But on this day, that kind of energy, if you've been experiencing that, is going to be transformed and reinvigorated in a positive sense by the sun conjunct the galactic center. So I said in my preamble, it's a good day to start preparing intentions for the year ahead. And if you are feeling low on this day, for you Sagittarian rising people, it's a particularly good day to set intentions for the year ahead, because the first house rules your body's journey through life, how you are going to go through life. So, you know, you could really benefit from setting some intentions, from making some plans, setting some goals, and working towards them in the year ahead concerning where your body's going, where your soul is going, where do you want to be in a year's time. Set the intention, work towards it. Okay, now that I've rambled on there, let's look at Capricorn. Well, hello Capricorn, this energy is playing out for you in your 12th house. 12th house is karma. 12th house is past lives. And so for Capricorn people, you are going to be drawn into something that's larger than life, that might have something, you might not recognize it as such, but if you're into karma, if you're into sort of exploring, you know, karmic loops, the things that hold you captive from past lives, the energies that have kept you bound up and stop you from moving ahead in relationships or work or self-worth or any kind of other area of life, you might get the chance on this day, Capricorn people, to address that. And you might not even realize that it's a karmic thing. So something, it could be anything that crops up for you, but something may crop up that has to do with karma for you. So, I don't know, a million different examples there could be. Maybe somebody enters into your life and you've had a karmic past life experience with them. And it's like, hello, I know you. We've known each other, you know. Where have I met you before? That kind of feeling. And they might influence you in some way. So that's one way it can play out. You meet someone, you have deja vu. It's like, whoa, you know, that I'm sure I've dreamed this situation. Or you might even have, you know, a connection with someone in your family, your husband, you know, somebody who you don't realize, but you are having a karmic play out, if you like, of past life situations, a revisiting, a rehashing of a past life situation that you might not even be aware of. So, you know, you might have a fight with your husband over something, or your wife over something, and not realize that it's actually a revisiting of old past life themes that need addressing. So this can definitely unfold for Capricorn rising people on the 19th, when we're drawn into something that's larger than us, that's bigger than us. 12th house is connected to subconscious realms, the divine realms, realms that we actually don't know, you know, in our third dimensional reality exist, you know, unless we're very spiritually minded, you know, and most people watching this would be spiritually minded and have an awareness of this. But it's connected to psychology because it's the 12th house is our subconscious realms, the things that we don't recall from past lives or don't recall from our childhoods. So you might recall something, you might have a dream, you might revisit an old karmic loop that keeps playing in your life. So lots of these things can come up for you, very ethereal, very spiritual, very otherworldly type experiences that might arise if you are Capricorn rising on this day, when it's almost inescapable with the sun, the planet of self-confidence and ego conjuncting with the Galactic Center. You can have an experience like this, a karmic experience that addresses ego issues and self-confidence issues for you in either the positive sense or the negative sense. So keep your eyes out, pay attention to your dreams. In fact, this whole week for you guys, I would write down your dreams and you know, whatever they look like for you, you know, keep a journal, write it down, think about it. Just to conclude with that, the 12th house is also connected to escapism. So you might be drawn into having a day of escape. It's not usually connected with sickness. The 12th house actually is more connected to healing, but maybe you've had the flu or something and you need to take a day off and heal. It's a great day to do that on the 19th, because you may need to retreat from ordinary society, ordinary reality, your daily routines. You might need to escape, to go within, to focus on self, to restore yourself, to heal yourself. So if you've been feeling like, oh my God, I just need a day off, well, maybe you should take it. If you are Capricorn rising and you've been feeling that way, take a day off on the 19th, because the Sun conjunct Galactic Center in the 12th house indicates that this is a pull you're getting from the universe to do that. And to focus on your spiritual self, on your connection to the divine, on your health and well-being and your ability to heal. All these things are seen from the 12th house. Alrighty, Capricorn, Aquarius. Beautiful Aquarius. I do love Aquarian people. They are fascinating. Aquarius rising people, this is going to put this energy in your 11th house. How gorgeous. How absolutely perfect. You, out of all the signs, I feel, have stand to gain the most from this energy. And that is simply because it's falling in your house of rewards and gains and goals and visions, your dreams for the future. And if you listen to the preamble that I made with this video, you'll know that this entire period, this period of 3 to 4 days, the end of this week, it's all about setting intentions, setting your goals and visions for the year ahead, working with the energy of the full moon, working with the energy of the solstice, working with the energy of the sun conjunct the galactic center. It's not going to be back there for a whole other year. So you are setting an intention with the support of the universe, with the support of the galaxy. And as the sun lines up, our solar system lines up with the center of our galaxy, it is a powerful time to set these intentions, to make, go take some time out and write down, what do you want to achieve this year? What are you hoping for? What goals and dreams do you have? Plus, you might also receive some rewards and gains for things that have occurred for you over the past year, since the last time the sun was conjunct with the galactic center. So if you look back into this day last year, well, what were you doing? What was the energy that you were putting out to the universe? Intentionally or unintentionally, what were you saying to the universe about your life? You might have received that back over the ensuing year since the sun was at the galactic center. But whatever energy you put out on these few days is going to be what you're going to be drawn into over the year to come. So take the time to seed intentions, to set goals and dreams and visions that are worthwhile, that are honorable, that are in tune with where you want to head, with the direction, the destiny of the life you want to live. 11th house is also friends and large groups of people. So you might get the pull, the inescapable pull, to connect with large groups of people on this day. Maybe you go to a big street party, in your town for Christmas, and you get the chance to connect, and it's inescapable, but it's fun and it's joyful and it's great. Maybe you get the chance to connect with friends, somebody's having a cocktail party, so you go. This is a very social house, the 11th house. So it's really, really good for those sorts of energies. And if you get the chance to go to a big, large group event on this day, I would encourage you to do so, because you'll be aligning with the energy of the sun conjunct the galactic center that's pulling you into these 11th house things. So finally, beautiful, dreamy Pisces. Pisces people, so me, this is falling in your 10th house. Lovely energy to have in the 10th house. 10th house is authority figures. 10th house is worldly achievements. It is your career aspirations, and it's also the legacy that you want to leave. So to have this galactic center falling in natally in your 10th house, that's where it's going to be. You have the pull, the desire, the dream to leave a legacy of value to the world. Maybe being Pisces rising might be a legacy of compassion, might be a legacy of romance, a legacy of grace and beauty, might be a legacy of creativity or healing. So with the sun lining up with the galactic center on this day, for Pisces people in the 10th house, you might get the opportunity to establish more of the legacy you're hoping to leave on the world. You might get the opportunity, in fact, it's going to happen for you in sort of a larger than life pull into what legacy you are going to leave. A pull into your career destiny. Maybe if you're young and you're rising up into your career still as a Pisces person, maybe on this day something manifests that's simply a step further in the right direction. Every year the sun connects with the galactic center, so we have this opportunity every year, but it's particularly powerful this year because of the full moon and the solstice and the Neptune Venus trine. All the energies combining are really, really good. So you actually, and of course Neptune is your planetary ruler, So it's a very powerful energy for you to utilize this insatiableness towards rising up into a career, rising up into your destiny, heading towards some sort of worldly achievement that you aspire to, or leaving a fabulous legacy. Now, I'm not saying everyone wants to leave a legacy of, you know, some big high-rise building in downtown, you know, Paris or something. Oh, there's no high-rises in Paris, get it right, Kesenya. High-rise building in New York or something like that, and you want to, oh, that's my legacy, look at it, it's fabulous. I'm not talking about big stuff like that. It can be some people's legacy, but it could also be a legacy of, you know, I want to leave a legacy of really healthy, well-adjusted children. So you are pulled into something that works towards the legacy you want to leave on this day. Maybe something allows you to invest in children or your own children more. Maybe you want to leave a legacy that's connected to great art. I mean, Pisces is so creative. Maybe you want to be the artist, or maybe you want to support struggling artists or burgeoning artists in your city, in your town. So you do something on this day towards leaving a legacy. Maybe you establish an art exhibition on this day, or maybe you just get painting and you start painting. Maybe you're inspired to paint on this day because this is the legacy you want to leave the world. You know, have a house full of incredible art. Maybe your legacy that you want to leave might look something like, I want to leave an album of songs that I've written. You know, I might never be, you know, Barbara Streisand, but hey, I'm gonna leave an album before I die. And so you work on this day towards writing some songs, or hunting down a recording studio, or finding some musicians who will back you to make the album that you aspire to make. So it's about heading towards your worldly aspirations, your even your career dreams. You know, we think career dreams and we think it's got to be, oh, CEO, boss, whatever. But it doesn't necessarily have to be. Your career dream can simply to be, you know, might be to, I want to manage the local McDonald's, you know. Whatever it is for you that is your aspiration, your dream, your goal, then that is your 10th house, in whatever capacity that is, you know. We aren't all going to be the President of the United States. That is some people's aspiration, but it's not going to happen for everybody. So our aspirations, our dreams, our goals for our own worldly achievements and the legacy we hope to leave is as individual as we are. And something might happen, sorry, I'm blabbing on, but something might happen for Pisces people on this day that you are drawn into whatever it is that is heading towards the legacy you want to leave, the worldly achievements you aspire to. It happen in so many different realms. I could sit here all day listing many different opportunities, but there might be an opportunity come to you, or you might just feel the push, the energetic push to do something more on this day towards achieving your dreams. So that is what I see unfolding for all the signs when the Sun conjuncts the Galactic Center, as it does once a year, but it's still a powerful year. And as I said in the beginning, it's a year for establishing, it's a week for establishing some intentions for the year to come, because all the energies are lined up beautifully over the course of this year and at this week, and heading into Christmas Day, which actually doesn't have any astrological significance. It probably would have been better if they'd chosen the 21st of December to have Christmas Day on, because it's a bit more astrologically aligned. But Christmas Day, I hope it's a blessed day for you all. I hope you get lots of goodies, and I hope that it's a fun and happy festive season for you all. And I will be talking to you next week on Boxing Day. But for now, let's go into this week's energy with just a little prayer. Loving universe, thank you for the way you have lined everything up with the planets and the stars and the galaxies so that we can be blessed, and we want to work in a positive, upbeat way with this energy and the energies that are unfolding this week. So show us what to do. Give us the ability to listen to our intuition and our internal guidance, so that we make right choices, so that we head in the right direction, and so that we use this energy powerfully to be the people that we long to be. And may everybody have a safe, prosperous and blessed Christmas. And so it is. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next week.